Now, if you saw the title, you're probably thinking, listen, I was thinking the same thing, which is why I requested proof from this person, and they sent me more than enough proof. So hopefully what I show is enough for you to believe, but I also realize that at the end of the day, some people are never going to be convinced, and I mean, well, no, that's photoshopped. No, that's definitely photoshopped. No, that's a fake video. I mean, even on the podcast, no, none of those guests are real. That's every single part of all that is scripted. So for some people, I realize they're not going to believe, but yeah, $400 into $29,000. Not too bad. Where did all this start? Well, I got this email and I want to read through that, and then I'll kind of show you the proof, and we'll kind of take it from there, but I want you to be aware of, what is actually available out there to you as a trader. Hey Clay, I want to give you a shout out. 2 years ago, I purchased your product and studied like a beast. I have 4 degrees from University of Iowa, Business Admins and Accounting, from Mercer University, MBA and MACC. I don't know what that is. I'm here to tell you that I've gotten a greater return on investment, ROI, on your education compared to those, since I had yearly gains of over $100,000. However, yesterday I had my biggest single gain of $29,700 off of $300. Call option on STI for 3 cents each. Thank you, McQuan. First off, McQuan, that's an awesome name. I gotta just give, we have some great names. We have McQuan, we have Kainoa, we have Croy. I'm just trying to think of some of the cooler names off of, but yeah, good names out there. Anyways, well, I should probably do the proof, because right now you're thinking, wait a second, that's kind of a big claim. But let's get to this proof real quick. So on the screen here, you are seeing his transaction, the ID, all that stuff. And we'll highlight it too on the screen so you can see. But he bought 100 at 3 cents. Don't worry about the 100, just he bought 100 at 3 cents. So keep in mind 3 cents. And then the other amount to keep in mind was the 383, which is the $300, and then he had some commission in there. So let's just call it $400. So that was the $400 required to get involved into this trade. And then right here on the screen, you see the sell 100. However, instead of where the 3 cents was, now you see $2.99. And down at the bottom, you see that he sold that position for $29,815.77. Before I forget, we are actively working with McQuan right now to get him on the podcast. He said he will do one. Maybe by the time this airs, I'll be able to put a link to the podcast. But I don't know yet, no promises in that regard. But yes, I can see it now. Oh, get McQuan on the podcast. It's in the works, and I'm pretty excited to talk with them. But there you have it. He bought something for 3 cents, and then he ultimately sold it for $2.99 just a few days later. You can always go back and scroll back on the video, and you can look at those images and see the dates. It was literally just a couple day trade. $400 into $29,000. 3 cents. What are you talking about 3 cents? So he bought a penny stock. No, he did not buy a penny stock. Now this is what I like to call penny stocks on steroids. So if you want more examples of this, down below, whether if you're watching this at claytrader.com, just below the video, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description section, I have done another video before called penny stocks on steroids. And this is what I would call a penny stock on steroid. And like I said, you can get that. I'm also going to put a link of an article I did years ago called Penny Stocks Are a Joke. And then I talk more about this whole concept. So I'll put both those links down below. The idea here and what he actually, and I don't like to use this word because it freaks people out. It freaked me out for the longest time. But just, you have to promise me before I tell you that it's not going to freak you out, that you're going to trust me. So the word I'm going to use here, I promise that with the right teacher, of course, this stuff can be explained in a more simplistic fashion. And what he was trading was options. Again, I realize they can seem complicated, especially if you've opened up an options chain without any knowledge. Talk about an intimidating sign, but I promise it's not that bad. But options are another alternative out there that you can pursue with a smaller account. Like I said, all that was required to get into this stock, to get into this trade was $400. And the stock he was trading, I want to say was up over $50. So if you're somebody that automatically defaults to no, I can't afford trading stocks for $50. Well, that's the power of options. That's the power of how it all works. Now, I'm not going to break down all the intricacies. What word am I? Yeah. I'm not, all the details, there we go. I'm not gonna break down all the details of options in this video, but the point is I want to make you aware that there is another alternative out there if you have a smaller account, and those are known as options. And what he did was he bought some options, or let's just look at it as a penny stock. He bought 100 shares of a penny stock. Now, they're not shares, they're actually called contracts, but don't let that jargon intimidate you. I promise it's not that bad. But just look at it as he bought 100 shares of something at 3 cents, and it, in order to get involved, it was that $400 number. And then he sold those shares that were at 3 cents a couple of days later for $2.99. I probably should have done the calculation, but that's well over 1,000% that he made in just a couple of days, which is kind of why I always chuckle when penny stock people are like, oh, such and such, it's up 1,500%. And they're like, yeah, and you sat there and waited for like 7 months for that to occur. Don't get me wrong, 1,500%, 7 months, that's a good return, but it's just like you clearly are not aware of the options market where you can make those percentages in a relatively short amount of time. Now, here come all the disclaimers. First off, are you gonna just sign up as somebody that's brand new, start trading options and think that you're gonna make thousands of percents every day? That's not what I'm saying at all. Options are awesome. Options are great, but options will absolutely eat your lunch if you rush into them and try to figure it out all on your own. They can be very intimidating. So that is the warning. This is not a video for me to say, don't do penny stocks. Just open up an options account and you're gonna start making thousands of percents. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't let your mind default to, I have a small account, therefore I have to do penny stocks. No, there's better ways out there to do it. And the way the option market works is you can actually make money when stocks are falling down in price, and you can make well over 100%. Whereas remember, from the short side, the best you could ever do is basically 100%. If something goes to zero, you've made 100% return because now it is worthless. But in the options market, if a stock falls, you can make well over 100%, on a certain type of option that is, within the avenue that is the options market. See, I'm making it sound more confusing than it is because I'm trying to avoid certain words because I don't want to make it confusing. So I realize the irony here. But just, you promised me that you wouldn't be intimidated. So I want you to be aware that the options market is certainly something that you should be considering, and it's not intimidating. And I do have an options course. Oh, I knew it. I don't care. You are more than welcome to go try to teach yourself options on your own. Go for it. But you have to make the promise that you're not going to come back and say, well, I did options because of your video and I lost my money. Well, did you take my course? No. Well, then sorry. Invalidated excuse. Because I'm telling you, if you want to be taught, and like I said, this person, you saw his email, he's got all these degrees and he bought Clay Trader University and that's been the better ROI. Now, that's kind of the other thing about why I always have to chuckle when people are like, wow, that's kind of a lot of money, $2,000. It's like, have you ever really looked at I understand, first off, $2,000, that's not like a small amount of money. So I understand why people would say that, but what I've kind of figured out is when you're like, well, have you ever considered what just a normal, even community college degree would cost, a 2-year degree? It's gonna be well more than $2,000. So for him to have a better ROI, not a huge challenge when I'm sure he paid well over $50,000 for all those degrees, and my program is the $2,000. So the point here being is, if you want to get into options, I would highly encourage it, but I would also highly encourage it being a well-disciplined and a knowledgeable trader. You need to be very good at technical analysis. You need to be very good at charts, and that's another thing I didn't put in here. I'm hoping to talk about it, but I was like, hey, can you walk me through the thought process? Because what I wanted to avoid was I wanted to make sure that he was just not randomly gambling, just doing something totally random that happened to work out. And he sent me this email. What was it? It was like 7 steps. Like, well, first I saw this, and then I saw that, so that's why I did that. And I'm like, all right, good. This was totally not some random gamble. He had a thought process mapped out, and it made logical sense. And then he got a nice move in his favor that created this monster move. But definitely not now, can it be gambling? Of course, but to be fair, anything in the market can be treated as gambling. So just be aware of it. I'd encourage you to check out those links down below where I give some more examples of penny stocks on steroids and all that. But there is power in options, and you need very small amounts of money to get involved in a whole array more of stocks that, if you just pigeonhole yourself into the penny stock market, you're not going to have nearly the choices that you would, in the options market. So just something to be aware of. But yeah, $400 into $29,000. Well done, Maquan. Thank you for sharing that with me. And yeah, I'm glad that the educational program has outpaced all those fancy degrees that you have. And let's get you on the podcast. And I want to hear more about your story. But if you do have any questions or anything, let me know. You can leave those below, and I'll try my best. Now, if you start wanting an options education, I will just link you to my options course. So fair warning there. Or maybe I'll just put the link down below anyways to give you a little head start there if you're interested. But just remember, don't rush. That's a very bad idea in all this, but there is potential, and there's great potential when you know what you're doing. And as Maquan has shown, investing into your education, yeah, that can pay some really, really good returns. If you are out there trading alone currently and maybe are in the market looking for a community to join to assist you in your trading or to just help you, give you another set of eyeballs, then I do have a private trading community where you can trade alongside me and other experienced traders. So what you see popping up on the screen right now is both an information link. So if you click on the inner circle one, that is going to take you to the page where I explain all the details of what exactly come with the community, both the chat room and the newsletter. And then the other image that has popped up is a behind the scenes tour where you can see exactly what is going to be contained within the community. I take you through, like I said, a behind the scenes tour of everything, and that way you'll know precisely what you are getting when you join. So definitely check that stuff out if you are interested and thinking about wanting to join a community, and let me know if you have any questions.